Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another quick little video where I float some of the things that I've had rolling around in my head. I just got done filming my Keeping Promises video and I'm jumping right into this one because I'm trying to get through the backlog of outline ideas that I've had and kind of get back in a creative swing. So this is something that I've been sitting on, but I think it's important and I want to talk about it and I want to spend a little bit of time kicking around the whole idea. And that is how we justify our beliefs. This whole video was prompted by a New York Times headline that I saw shared on someone's story that said, "Eat less red meat, scientists said. Now some believe that was bad advice." Now I've been following a plant-based diet now for quite some time, although I do my best to disassociate myself from the vegan community as much as I can, and I have a whole video on that if you want to know why. But the headline caught my eye because I am always interested in what the mainstream media has to say about this. Eat meat, don't eat meat, the whole ethical, moral dilemma of everything, the climate impact, all that stuff is very interesting to me, especially as someone who is studying environmental science. So of course I wanted to check it out. And the thing that immediately struck me about it was that it gave such a clear implication of what the article was going to say. It was so black and white, so cut and dry, and the person who shared it on their story on Instagram obviously felt the same way because they were using it as justification and reinforcement for why they believe what they do, which in this case for them was that to not eat meat is somehow immoral and unpatriotic and un-American. And you see this happen all over the place. Doesn't matter if you're talking about politics, religion, any social issue under the sun. It happens all across social media. Reddit specifically is what comes to mind for me. If you've spent any time on that social media platform, the subreddits are full of people looking for a pat on the back and a handshake and a reinforcement that whatever it is that they are saying is true and moral and good and right and all that. It happens to everybody. We like to put ourselves in an echo chamber of shared opinions and values. It's a very natural thing to want to do, but I don't necessarily think that it's always incredibly beneficial. We like to be able to say, I believe X, and then point to very concrete, substantiated reasons for why we believe that. But so much of the time, what I keep running into over and over again is that those reasons, those substantiated, concrete, scientific reasons are nothing more than someone else's opinion and perception and perspective of the world. And I think we have to ask ourselves, is that enough? I think it's important to be able to ask, why do I believe what I believe? Is it because I have examined it, held it up against my values and morals, looked at it, weighed it, looked into myself and considered it and found it to be true? Or is it because it's what I have heard everyone say, what I have been parroting, because it is convenient for me and comfortable and fits into what I want to believe the world is? It's a very difficult question and thought process to go through because it demands a degree of personal integrity that most people find very, very difficult. I myself have found it difficult. Because it demands that we critically analyze why we believe what we believe, and it can get very uncomfortable very quickly because if you find that what you have believed and held up to be the truth is not the truth and is fraught with issues and holes and problems, then that demands that you change. And change is uncomfortable, and none of us want to do that. I've seen it happen within my own life. I mean, each and every one of us are told certain things when we grow up by our parents or other authority figures. We're told that they're true and, you know, this is right and this is wrong and this is black and this is white and there's no room for anything in between. That's perhaps a useful technique to use on a small child because small children can't necessarily grasp nuance. But if you hang on to those things all the way through your adult life, it can start to cause real problems. And I think we can look at our society and our culture and various issues and things that we see happening and realize that that is very prevalent and very real. Once you are grown and on your own, that rhymed, I think there is an imperative and oftentimes a moral one to examine what you believe and ask yourself why. It's interesting to note that that particular New York Times article although it gave such a black and white idea of what was going to be depicted, when you actually took the time to read it, the ending was very inconclusive, left a lot up in the air. And if I were someone who was reading that, hoping to get some sort of cut and dry answer to whatever question it was I had going in, I don't think I would have been satisfied. It didn't answer anything. And I think that leads into another point, which is that people tend to want to be told what they should believe. They want to be told that X, Y, and Z is the correct thing, and A, B, and C are the reasons why you should follow it and do it. It's so much easier to do that than to have to go through the mental gymnastics and exhaustion of examining something and questioning something and tearing something apart. That is a lot of work, and most people don't like to do that because, again, it gets very uncomfortable and it can alienate you very quickly from your culture and the things that you've always believed, and even from your friends and family, which can be incredibly scary. Nobody wants to lose their social network and their structure and everything that has made them who they are. So with all of that in mind, obviously you have two options. You can either look for someone to tell you what you should believe and why you should believe it, or you can look for that information yourself and draw your own conclusions. We are reasonable, rational beings. We have the ability to think and process things. So I almost think that it's a little bit of a crime if you don't do that, if you don't examine things for yourself and question things and go that extra mile. It might be exhausting, but I think it's far more rewarding and can lead to a lot more peace in the long run, rather than if you just swallow everything that you are fed and then regurgitate it as your own belief. And that is basically the main point that I am trying to make. I know this video is short compared to some that I have made in the past. This is a topic that has been discussed exhaustively by so many people, people who are far more educated on philosophy and ethics and all of that stuff than I am. But I wanted to throw my hat in the ring, I guess, so to speak, kind of share my thoughts on it. I see it happening a lot, this justification in the ways we justify what we believe. I see it happening a lot within my age group on social media, and I think that we have to push back against that, because if you are unwilling to question things and examine things, then as a society we will stagnate and we will cease to develop and further ourselves, and as people we will stagnate. So it's something that I think needs to be talked about more. Maybe this video does that a little bit. I'm curious to see what you guys think, if you have any thoughts, how you've seen this play out in your own life, in your own social circles and families. I definitely would love to read your comments if you have them. That's pretty much it for this video though, for the time being. I'm sure I'll have further thoughts at some point, but just wanted to get this out there as a kind of icebreaker. And I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe, share, bell icon, all that crazy stuff that, you know, lets YouTube know that you like me and want to see more of my stuff. I will see you again soon for the next video, whenever and wherever that may be. Bye, guys.